Hello everybody, welcome to ULO Education's YouTube channel. Today I'm going to discuss a sample answer that is written by an Ielts examiner, and we'll learn a great deal from this sample answer. So the question is, some people prefer to travel around town by car while others prefer public transit such as bus, train or subway. Discuss both these positions and give your opinion. Now this question is a kind of direct one because it hasn't asked you to discuss the advantages, disadvantages, yet you need to discuss both the positions. And these kind of questions usually appear in IELTS journal training exams. But with the help of this sample answer written by the IELTS examiner, by an IELTS expert, we can comprehend a lot about how we can write and present our ideas in an effective manner. So let's look at the introduction. There are advantages and disadvantages to traveling by car and public transit. These can be financial, personal or environmental. Cars are often the most convenient, while public transit is by far the cheaper one. So since in this question it is written that some people prefer to around town by car while others prefer public transit. So basically you need to compare both of these subjects. You need to compare the advantages and disadvantages of private vehicle use such as car with public transport such as bus, train, etc. So this has been written in this, I would say, introduction paragraph. The writer has pinpointed advantages and disadvantages of car and of public transit as well. This means that whenever you are presented with such question, from the word prefer while others prefer, you need to understand that the examiner is asking you to discuss the benefits and the drawbacks of both, and that is what it is meant by discuss both these positions. It means you need to give points why some people go towards, why some people decide to travel by car, because there are certain advantages to it and there are disadvantages of public transport. And if we talk about other people, they prefer to travel by public transit because there are certain advantages to it and there are disadvantages of private transport. So this introduction completely makes the examiner aware of what the candidate is going to write in further body paragraphs. We have pretty much the idea of advantages and disadvantages of both modes of transport. So let's have a look at the first body paragraph. So as you can see in this first body paragraph, the writer has given a topic sentence. A topic sentence is used when you are going to introduce the topic of the body paragraph, that what you are going to discuss in this body paragraph. So when you are presented with this challenging question, you need to make the reader aware of the topic of the body paragraph. It gives the idea to the reader that around what this body paragraph is centered. So, traveling by car has many advantages. A simple topic sentence yet effective. Now, most of the IELTS candidates are told that they need to write complex language. However, this is a sample answer written by the examiner. So, you don't need to worry about if your language is simple. You make sure that your language is coherent. It should be understood, and that is the main criteria of coherence and cohesion in IELTS journal training as well. Traveling by car has many advantages. First, so has used a linker with first, it means he's going to describe the first advantage. Sorry for that. First, it is your property. Yes, definitely. If someone would ask me why I travel by car, I would definitely say it is my own vehicle. It is my property, and you can you can do with it what you like, and you can do with it what you like. So this is such a strong reason to give preference to a private car, to a private vehicle. First, it is your property and you can use it in your own way. Second, it takes you exactly from one point to another. There is no need to combine bus or train routes, and there is no need to walk anywhere to catch public transit. So the writer has given us the advantages. First, he says, or he writes, that it is your property, you can use it in your own way as you seem fit. And second is that it takes you from one point to another. For example, if you have to catch a bus, first you need to reach the public transit location where you can catch the bus. For example, we reach destinations such as a train station or a bus station in order to travel by public transit. But if you're traveling by car, you don't need to combine the routes, you don't need to walk, you just travel from your home to the destination you like. Okay, and what does he say next? You simply walk out of your home to your car and go where you need to. So this is the simplest explanation one could ever give why someone prefers a car. Finally, and related to my second point, is the time you save driving a car. And now he has given the reader the third idea, that traveling by car saves you a great deal of time, and that is very obvious. That is the main reason why so many people, they buy their own car in order to save their commuting time. A 30-minute drive may take twice as long as or more with public transit. Yes, this is a pretty good explanation you can give in your body paragraph if you're preparing for general training test. So if you're traveling to your workplace around 30 minutes by your car, it might take twice as much time if you travel by bus. It could take rather 60 minutes. Okay. Taking into account walking to the station, waiting, taking an indirect route, and stopping for other passengers. So in this body paragraph, you might understand that the writer has compared advantages of public transit. He has proved it advantageous and he has proved the public transit disadvantageous. Now, the main ideas are that traveling by car is, first, it is your property, you may use it in your own way, and secondly, it is the direct route from your point to the other point where you want to reach, and third is it saves you time. So these are the three advantages. And the disadvantages of public transit, the writer has written, is that you have to wait for your public transport. You have to reach there where you can catch a bus or a train, and that is what it is all about. So this is, in my eyes, it is a great explanation. The language is rather simple yet effective. I would say that you need to have an idea and then you can explain in your own words. And also remember, a point to be noted here, the examiner has used the second person voice. So most of the time IELTS aspirants are told that they cannot write second person voice. However, that is just a myth, because the rule is, if you want to use the second person voice, the whole body paragraph should be in the second person voice. And as you can see, you, your is repeated over and over in this body paragraph. The writer has nowhere mentioned I, we, individuals and people. This body paragraph totally is centered on second person voice. He is basically addressing the reader. Now let's move towards the second body paragraph. So, in the second body paragraph, he says the disadvantages of driving are twofold. So, now he is going to discuss the disadvantages of private vehicle, and he might write the advantages of public transit, public vehicles. Twofold means that the impact is 2 times more. In terms of what? Price and environmental. Yes, we can all agree that when we travel by car, it costs you much than to travel by bus. You might spend a lot of money on petrol or other fuels in order to travel by car. However, the fare on bus or train is much lower. So if we talk about environmental terms, it is also true that private vehicle usage is the main reason why pollution levels are rising. So we get the pretty much idea of what the body paragraph is all about. Driving is expensive. Yes, we can agree that a vehicle is expensive. First point, if you want to travel by car, you need to have your own car. You need to have a car in your possession, and that means you need to buy it. You need to spend a lot of money, and that is the primary disadvantages of owning a vehicle. Petrol is expensive. That is also true. We have seen the price hike in the recent months. The petrol price has gone up to around 100 in just few months. Petrol is expensive. Insurance is expensive. Another disadvantages of owning a car. Yes, it's true. Insurance is also expensive. You can also incur other costs such as parking tickets, speeding tickets, and others. Now the writer is giving us pretty much the bad idea, the bad side of owning a private vehicle, and that's what you need to do. You can look that how simply the writer is expressing his thoughts, and the person voice is again the second one. So don't worry about if you are going to write it in the second person voice or first person voice. The whole passage, the whole I would say answer should be in the same voice. Don't mix up the voices. Don't mix up the first person voice with the third person voice or third person voice with the second, and vice versa. So we can see it again written here. You are also much more prone to an accident as well as theft. When someone says prone to, it means you are in the possibility of danger, and that is what it is written here. If you are traveling by car, then it is possible you might get into an accident or theft. However, I pray that you never get into that. May you live long and healthy, but in order to prove our point, we need to write these explanations. So, prone to an accident as well as theft. So, these are the pretty bad points of having or traveling by a car. In addition, so he has used a linker in order to continue developing the point. In addition, driving a car is bad for the environment. He had mentioned in his topic sentence that is going to discuss the two disadvantages on the terms of price and environment. So, in addition is used to express another point, and that is related to environment. This is a pretty good example of that your answer is coherent, your answer is easy to follow. Okay, that is what linkers are about. Linkers are not about that if you would use in addition or you would use what is more, it will help you reach a higher band score. Yes, it is possible that you may score a higher band with effective use of linkers. However, if you overuse these linkers, it can prove to be counterproductive. In addition, driving a car is bad for the environment. Semicolon. Now he is showing the use of punctuation. Semicolon is pretty easy to use. If you want to use such punctuations, you can subscribe to the channel. I will bring more videos about this. The petrol and exhaust fumes are very damaging. Now he has just described the environmental impact of driving a car. So petrol and exhaust fumes are very damaging to what? To the environment. Taking the bus, for example, spreads this environmental cost over dozens of people, and that is the greatest language one could ever read. Now the explanation is that when you travel by bus, this whole exhaust thing, this whole environmental cost is spreaded over, is divided among people, because people travel in huge numbers on a bus. However, if each person would travel by their own car, it would only increase the environmental cost, the environmental impact. So how the writer has discussed both sides. He has talked about the advantages and disadvantages of both public and private transport. Now let's move towards his opinion that is written in the last paragraph. Public transit. Now most of the people search for synonyms. However, I believe that, and whatever I have learned from my experience of teaching Ielts, that not every time you need to search for synonyms, and it is never possible to search for synonyms every time. So what you need to do is you need to learn the art of truly paraphrasing. That means that if you don't know the synonyms, just try to convert it into the other form, the word. For example, if the word is adjective, you need to know the proper use of using it into the verb form. Okay, so you don't need to search for synonyms every time. The examiner himself has written public transit as public transit. Public transit as I have noted. Now the voice changed. Now it is the first person voice, and that is I, me, we. Okay, so first person voice. Public transit, as I have noted, is inconvenient and often time consuming, and that were the disadvantages we discussed above. However, it is cheaper, safer, and much better for the environment. For these reasons, and because I live in a big city where it is relatively convenient to use, I take public transit. Now the reader will definitely be convinced that what this person is talking about. This person favors public transit, although he also recognizes the importance and the advantages of private vehicle or car. I take public transit. I find it saves me money, is better for the environment, and I don't mind planning ahead a little bit to get where I need to be on time. So this is all about today's sample answer written by a British Council certified examiner. Now, what I need you to do is, to subscribe our channel, like the video, and share with your friends whosoever are preparing for their Ielts GT exam. If you really like the video, please subscribe to the channel and join us.